Hello everyone and welcome to the new expansions. Let's get straight into it. Crafted a Reno deck yesterday and at the moment it's doing really well in Legend. It's a bit different from the other Reno decks I've seen people playing at the moment. So let's get straight into it. Hopefully the deck tracker will load in time. So we've put the Boomboss in it, you know, one of our favourite cards. Just love deleting our person's deck. I've been waiting to play this new Brann with. Okay. Let's concentrate on this first. Playing Warlock. If it's OTK Warlock, we just need a load of armor. Anything else we can deal with? Actually, it's going to be card draw now. Maybe we should have kept that card draw then. Yeah, that's more like it. Yes, we've got card draw armor. Good. We just need to get to something like 50 armor or something. I wish they'd do something about this deck. I think we're calling out this right now. It could give him a free draw with Mortal Coil, but it gives us a bit of armor, protects our face for another turn. We need to be drawing cards here, get more answers. Right, so as I was saying, this is the deck over here. Deck tracker should be up any second now. There we go. So, yeah, Mortal Coil, yeah. What can you do? Don't really need to do that yet. Truth is, I can do it next turn. Hopefully, if you play something, I can slam it, followed by this. I really need to be building up this armor quickly, because turn 6 is when he gets his OTK online. Judging by the cards he's played so far, he's playing the OTK deck. Oh, I hate facing this, because you're so at the mercy of the luck of the draw. You just have to draw the right cards, and hopefully he doesn't draw one of his big cards till later on. Oh, fracking early. Hellfire. Mortal Coil. Okay. Not ideal. This gets us 3 armor. So we've got a heavy plate still. We've also got reinforced plating. So basically, our top end of the deck, we decided we're playing Odyn, even though Odyn's battlecry doesn't get doubled by Brann. But still, the armor we get from Revenant is going to be 16 instead of 8, which turns into 16 damage. And similarly with well, that's the only minion which generates armor, I think. So he's just keeping my armor level down. Here we go. Is he going to play anything now? I don't want to play minions because he can use them to draw.
This is not what we
Yeah. What do we do? I don't know what we do here. I don't think there's any way we can win this. Unless he messes this up somehow.
What now?
Got nowhere near enough armor to beat this deck.
What now?
He's almost overdrawing, it's not quite. Maybe I should put Pozic in this deck. That could mess up a few different... Yeah, Pozic's a great idea. It'd be very nasty against this deck.
I must choose.
Okay, just have to hope he can't kill off his own one. He's clearly going for the OTK here. At all costs, we'll make it as hard for him as possible to not be able to kill this. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's one eruption gone. So we've got 2 turns now to maybe win this. So he's got his combo together now. Now we've just got to go all out armoring. Here we go. So you can't play the combo this turn. We've got 5 damage from hand, if that makes a difference. So he's just burning cards now. You know what would be good? Oh, wow. I just had a way of beating this deck and I just messed it up. Okay, never mind. I just thought of a very clever idea. Playing Reno before his turn 8. Okay, let's just hope he can't do it. He's... okay. He hasn't discarded anything yet, so it might be hard for him to get all the plagues online. Here we go. Well. Oh, interesting. Is this a fatigue one? No, this is the OTK one. He had Tho'GRun. He hasn't drawn. He doesn't have the what's it called yet? The discard card. Oh my goodness! Wow. Okay, so he can't. So. Oh, lovely. Oh, we played this beautifully. I think. That's a massive amount of damage he's just lost there by one of the thingies. Okay, here we go. Yeah.
What now?
This gives me 6 damage. 1 minute, got to be careful here. 1 minute. This can do 5 damage. Plus 3, it's 8. I'm 1 off lethal here. I'm 1 off lethal.
What now?
See, I can get some damage from here. I think I should just put the threat on board. Just hope for the best.
Thank you.
Hopefully the Odyn will absorb some of the damage as well. 23, okay. Okay, here we go. He hasn't discarded anything yet. He hasn't discarded, so his damage to his what's it called is not gonna. I mean, if he doesn't win this turn, that's game over. Odd cast cards. Can he do it? He's not going to do double damage because he hasn't discarded yet. So So that's only 4 so far. Well, that's... Oh no, he has discarded. That's 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 30. 8 times 6 is 48. 53. 53. 53. Oh, we're just over. That's not enough. It's not enough damage. Even if he gets rid of everything.
Well played.
And I've got lethal. I've got lethal over everything here.
That was an error.
Oopsie.
I will crush you.
Boom, over the top. Oh yes! Get in. Oh, we played that perfectly. That was perfect, yeah. Perfect. Wow, what a game to start off. Oh, that was close. You see, that's why you have to radically change your strategy, specifically against that deck. You just got to stack as much arm as you can, because there's no way you can stop his combo. It's basically an OTK from hand. It ignores what's on board. If you put a few high health minions on, that can help, I think, because the sludges will hit the minions before the face usually. Nice. Okay, so you didn't see the normal way to play the deck, but you saw a very good way to adapt there. Okay. Hopefully we'll get a couple of good games, you know, not just trying to survive Warlock. We have another Warlock, maybe we just skip it and play a different one. Death Knight, okay, this should be interesting. Right. Right, so we've got to watch out for patchwork. The sort of spells which they use. I mean, this can be useful. This can be useful. I don't think he's probably going wide, is he? We need some card draw. Keep this. That can help us out if he plays the 4 rushes. That can help us take the board back. Yeah, so just draw with this. Okay, so we've got a nice curve now. Got a couple of card draw options and actually counter whatever option. Here we go. Nice. So we're not playing a Reno deck. I mean, what they call the Reno deck. So what's he playing? What's this? Okay, this is probably Rainbow Mage, I'm guessing here. So let's keep the card draw going. Look for that Brann. We really want the Brann as early as we can. Our win rate will be massive. Massively better, I should say. Wow, he's playing it naked. Right, that's very inefficient. And this gives me free card draw as well. Which one do we do? I think Sanitize probably better here. Sanitize or Bellowing Flames? In an emergency, we can forge Bellowing Flames and play it for 2. So I think this is probably better. We don't know what we're facing yet, so we're not going to be too aggressive. We're just going to control the board because we know that we're strong. Right, okay, so this is Blood Death Knight. Okay, so he's going to do 3 damage each turn, a patchwork, kill a big minion. Right, okay, so we know what we're facing now. How many of our minions died so far? What have we played? It was Steam Guardian, Totem. I don't think we played a 3rd minion. Don't know if I have to remember that against When you're playing as warrior. Alright. Okay. If he kills this without a spell, then we can go with Empiric Blood. Okay. We've got an asphyxiate here now. Oh, this is perfect. Cycle a couple of cards. Ah, this could be useful. Let's draw with this first. Oh, here we go. We got the Brann. Let's hope he doesn't have a theatre. Oh, theatre is one other way we could get seriously messed up. Nope, we're fine. Oh, we can still coin out the theatre actually. Please don't be theatre. No theatre. Got quite. Okay, fine.
My thanks.
I need to like clear out my hands a bit here.
My blood for the Lich King.
Just got to play this before he can patchwork it or anything. Just get it, play it. Once it's played, the whole game is a different game. Okay, here we go.
No matter the danger, I'll always choose a good discovery.
Don't play anything here. Okay, Yoxaron can seriously backfire. But here he's got open hands, so card draw's not going to be too bad for him. Oh wow, that's a lot of card draw. He's going to overdraw here. What's that do? So he's going to overdraw next turn, which is nice. Oh, we've got the Odyn.
Amuse me with your tales of victory.
Okay.
There isn't room.
Oh, yes. That's what we like to see. And what did he get off the Yogg there? What was the last one he got? Discover spells. Oh, he's got duplicates in his deck now. He's got duplicates in his deck. That is fantastic. He's got duplicates in his deck. He's got duplicates. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if we can. If we had a fourth card that we could get a very big one, we could get 4/4 to 4 minions. Right. Let's do this. Play both of the coins. Do this. We can end up losing a card here. Alright, let's just do it. Take the big one. Come on, give me Ragnaros. What was that? Oh, okay, so he's got duplicates again. He's not over duplicated now. He really wants to kill that for some reason. Oh wow, I get to see what's in his deck now. Oh, he's got more grain. He's got that. He's got this. Okay. I do have a good way of killing that actually. That would have been a good way of killing it. Actually, we do. We've got this. I'm just going to do this straight away. Right, so, oh, I want to get my ASTALORS, so I'm going to pick something else first. Up on top, Cobalt Man looks good. And then we'll take the ASTALOR. Or the Reno? I think we take the ASTALOR for sure here. Try getting ASTALOR win here. So we can get 26 damage this turn. 26, 28 damage, 31. We've got lethal next turn, believe it or not.
You look tasty.
Still harmonic metal. I know what else he's got in his deck, that's the thing. He's got Soul Stealer, he's got Primus as well. Maybe just kill this off and go face straight like this. That seems okay. It's a shame, a bit of a waste of potential extra 10 damage. We've got another 10 damage to face next turn with this. Now, this is where it gets really hard for him to work out how he's possibly going to win. He needs taunts, basically, to stop me going face. Okay. Remove the 3/3. Oh, beautiful. Oh, that is, yeah. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow, he's going for that option. Wow, okay. So he's just taking some extra damage, I think unnecessarily. I could get rid of one of the taunts completely by trading. Alright, that makes it much harder for me.
It's a symptom of life. It's a symptom of life.
Should be able to play one of these now. I can play this now, actually. So I've got 10 damage next turn with this and this, followed by a quadruple ASTALOR. It looks absolutely hopeless for him here. I don't know what he can possibly do. This gives me a vampiric blood as well. Do I really want it though? I could try the strongest. If I draw Boomboss now, I think I'll just play Boomboss. Otherwise, no. Okay.
Our gift of frost shields us.
So now we've got 28 damage twice. Unless it's not battlecry. I'm pretty sure it's a battlecry. So I think we get 28 damage 2 turns in a row now. So there's almost no way he can survive this. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. Nothing helps him. I can actually win just with a single ASTALOR actually. You see how powerful this is? I mean, if I could have got like vampiric blood there, that would have been very good against certain decks. Well, he knows I've got this.
Our gift of fire empowers us.
Yes, game over. I think they're going to change ASTALORS 14 damage to Mana Thirst rather than a Battlecry. It's very incongruent. It's like the 2 damage you do with the original ASTALOR doesn't get doubled because it's just a Mana Thirst thing. It's not counts as a Battlecry. However, the second and the third ASTALORS, the one which gives you armor, the one which does the 14 damage, those are counted as Battlecries, and those do repeat with Brann. So it's a bit inconsistent there. I don't get it, to be honest. Alright, let's try one more game. Right, so we've seen how to do a super aggressive OTK deck. That was a very unique game. There aren't any other decks which are like that. You did have similar decks when you had Quest Warlock, the self-damage one. They relied on you playing minions. Or Quest Mage, they relied on you playing minions so you could they could play their spells on you, especially the freeze ones. Freeze only applied to minions, enemy minions, so you could stall them that way. Right, so playing a warrior. This could give us card draw. This is card draw technically. Actually, I don't think so. I think we're going all out for the Brann. I'm assuming that the Brann deck is so popular now that that's all that people are playing. If he's playing a different deck, I've got ways of dealing with that. But if it's a Brann deck, I need to get my Brann online first. Boomboss could be really good as well, if I manage to play it. He might be running Theatre, so I do have to be a bit careful. Okay. I think drawing cards is more important here than anything else. Now I've got something to do next turn. 8, 8, 9. So if I get coins, I'll end up with a handful of coins. Ah, interesting. Okay, we'll hold that, I guess. Unfortunately, it's not very useful at the moment. Problem is now, that was a mistake. I should have played this last time. So next turn I can armor, draw 2, and worst comes to the worst, played coin. Oh, has he got the funny card like I do? Doesn't seem to. Does he have Brann? Everything's full health on the board, so it's not what we're looking for. So we have to draw here. No. I think we're going to ditch the coin. I'm really thinking of putting Pozic in this deck now. That could be so disruptive before or after playing Brann. If I played Brann, I put 4 of those mechs in the deck. Okay. Well, the last time I had the mirror match, he got Brann first, and I still beat him. It's not the end of the world.
Stylish and deadly.
We're down on 8 now, so we're going to end up with 10 cards next turn.
You no take pickaxe.
Is there anything which does 1 damage? Not really. We could have that one which does 2 damage to a random minion. Alright, so I think we, just in case. Yeah, we want to see if we can keep this up for another couple of turns. Here we go. What are we facing? I was thinking of putting an audio amplifier to give us the option of going up to 11 cards, because our hand does tend to get quite full.
You no take pickaxe.
Excavate, tradable, legendary, and quick draw. That could actually be quite useful. Alright, let's just throw this away. So turn 10, we can play this with Flint and hopefully get some insane value. Okay. Right, so the Odyn thing doesn't proc twice. Let's do this. I'm not going to play ASTALOR yet. Whereas this doesn't give us any armor though. What does it do? It can give us value, so we need an emptier hand than this. It's 2 of these little 1/1s, and each of those 1/1s has a double effect.
Pick me.
Oh my goodness. That is nasty. 1 mana, 16 damage.
Pick me.
Ugh. 22 damage. That is disgusting. It's all my armor gone. Such hard work I put into making that armor. Oh, this is painful. That's pretty good, I suppose. Let's see if he's got what it takes. If he's got the Revenant, that's 26 damage. There's 1 off. A Revenant with hero power. Well, that's annoying. 12 times. Oh, that's ridiculous. Oh dear, we need our Reno right now. Forget Brann, we need Reno.
Brothers, Hodir summons us. Brothers, Hodir summons us.
Oh my goodness.
Wait no longer.
That's 4, that's 8, 20 going face here. More than that, that's lethal. Wow, my goodness. Whoa, that's what happens when you get Brann first. Maybe I should have just played this and hoped for the best. Never mind. Yeah, nothing could do that. We did everything we could. We mulliganed purely for Brann and card draw. Could not do anything there. Impossible. Yeah, so I think this deck is going to get nerfed in some way. It's not easy to get that Brann though. Maybe I should put Finley in, but then it's the other cards are so well balanced. They're all kinds of necessary for the deck. Maybe the AO. I'm finding this AOE is not so useful. Maybe I should play a bit looser. It's like a Blade Storm with guaranteed three procs. Now, Paladin's completely different. Do not look for Brann here, and look for cheap removal. I've already played the new Paladin before. I won, wouldn't say comfortably, but definitely possible to win. Plays a turn. If he skips turn 1, I'll be very happy. Okay, so this could be Odyn Paladin, which I'm going to have to get my thinking cap on because it gets much more complicated. You've got to work out, are you willing to take 25 damage just to get them to overcommit? Because once you use your big removal, then it's... Oh, wow, okay. I'm going to look for that Brann now. And the armor gain is also very important if we're playing Odyn Paladin.
Reporting for duty. Relax. Let's warm you up.
We'll just play Trial by Fire next turn, I think. He's probably going to kill this.
Reporting for duty.
Very interesting. Are there two cheap things we can play here? I guess so. Let's hope we don't get coins. If we get the coins, we'll just get rid of them. Perfect. Looking good so far. Play the Brann next. And then we've actually got THO'GRUN, which is lovely. Good. That's perfect timing. Is he going to auto-concede? That's the question. Auto-concede? No. He's obviously got some sort of game plan. Wow. Oh, this. If someone's running that in their deck, they're basically playing... Yeah, they're playing a Reno deck. They're definitely playing a Reno deck. There's no way anyone will play this deck otherwise. Should we go for this for the tempo? Can't see why not.
Magic betrays
And we'll just... Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, and let's kill it off to give my hands a bit more room. Already it's quite nice stats there already. Okay. So my 4 mana counteracted by his 6 mana there. THO'GRUN time. Now, this is where it gets a lot of fun. If I manage to find my Gaslight Gatekeeper, it's gonna go bonkers. Because I draw my whole deck twice. Okay, I've got a brawl. I've got a brawl. That's a shame. So that's gone, that's gone. What a weird situation this is. That's one way of doing it, I suppose. So They get permanent stealth here. Oh, TNT. Here we go. Let's try. I think we can.
What now?
We got 19 damage, so let's just kill off the fish first. Got 7-5 here. Okay.
Arcane bolt.
I don't want to kill this off. I'm scared of what it's going to draw. But okay, we'll hold it here. We can take 14 damage, no problem. Even if he buffs it, that's extra. Let's see, it puts 10 damage on this. Doesn't look like he's playing that. It's not a holy spell. Has he played holy spells yet?
Put your faith in the light.
Okay, so this is a big paladin. Very interesting. Okay, so we're gonna kill this off first. Then we're gonna brawl. What's he holding here? Okay, hopefully that will hit one of the taunts. Oh, perfect. Oh, wow. Well, what a game, man. We destroyed him with the TNT'S. What a crazy game. Beautiful. That's how TNT'S are meant to work. Yeah, that did give me a big surprise there with the front lines there. Yeah, what was Thunderbring? What was he trying to draw out? He had the new elemental card. Oh, with the death rattle. Double stats of all elementals in your hand of the deck. Probably he had Neptulon in his hand already. That's why it didn't draw out. And probably a Ragnaros as well, which has been a 16-16. Very interesting. Very interesting deck. Okay. Still managed to get the win. So 75% win. So it's slightly. Oh, yeah, we were higher than 75 before, right? So that losing that one game made us go down in our win rate. But now we're still above 75 with a 77% win rate. Let's have a quick look at the deck. And I'll explain some of my decisions for the way I made the deck. Okay. Try to do it quickly. I do spend a lot of time. I know some of you appreciate my long-winded, very micro-focused deck overviews, but I still like it to be nice and smooth. Okay, so obviously the deck's based around battlecries with Brann. That's a primary win condition, and we've got so Brann itself is not a win condition, but it sets up other win conditions. For example, it sets up the Boomboss suddenly becomes, instead of 3 TNTs destroying 9 cards, you actually destroy 18 cards, and yeah, 6 from the deck, 6 from the hand, 6 on board. So imagine destroying 6 cards in person's hand and deck. That's sort of like Ticketus levels on steroids, because you're destroying what's on board as well as what's in the deck, plus what's in the hand. So if you get to play this on curve with the Brann, this can be absolutely destructive. The idea of, I didn't get to explain it in the game, Gaslight Gatekeeper is one way, shuffle your hand into your deck and draw that many cards. There's 2 purposes of this. One of them, maybe I could use Finley instead. But it's a 3-mana 3/4, so it's not too bad. The idea is that if you don't have your Brann by turn 6, you could play this, try searching for it if your deck's sort of getting filled up and you've got a very clunky hand. Maybe you can draw some cheaper cards to play. The other thing is that as opposed to Finley, let's just bring up the Finley so you know what I'm talking about here. There we go. So swap your hand with the bottom of your deck. So the mechanics of this card is it literally replaces your hand with the cards at the bottom of your deck. You don't draw them. So any cast when drawn effects don't work with Finley. However, this is worded differently. Shuffle your hand into your deck. Right now, that means you could draw some of the same cards, and that usually happens actually. Usually draw 2 or 3 of the same cards you just had in your hand. So, but this can be very useful for what's it called? Quick draw cards. So if you happen to have generated quick draw cards with Flint, let's say you're left with what's it called? Azerite Chain Gang, and you couldn't play it on the Flint turn, then shuffling the Chain Gang back into the deck and then redrawing it, that makes it quick draw activated, and you can actually play the Azerite Chain Gang for the extra one, or whatever the other quick draw card you happen to be shuffling in. We don't run quick draw cards in this deck, however, because I don't think any of them are good enough to put in, and they don't really synergize with our battlecry sort of theme deck. The only one is Misfire. It's a terrible card. I mean, the uses for this can be so... if you draw it, you have to basically draw it that turn when you need to use it. The only other usage, because this destroys your own board as well. That's why it's called Misfire. You can blow yourself up. The only other usage it's got is if you're falling behind on board, then you can use this to do random 3 damage only to your enemies, because you don't have any minions at all. So then it's just like the Hunter spell, which basically does the same thing. Okay, the Hunter spell can go face, so this is slightly better in terms of board removal. And of course you've got the quick draw effect. Okay, so the last reason why you play Gaslight Gatekeeper over Sir Finley is because this actually draws cards. So that means if you've shuffled 6 Boomboss Tho'grun TNT'S into your deck already, this will draw twice. So let's say you've got 9 cards in hand. It's going to draw 9 cards twice. So that's 18 cards. So you're very, very likely to draw, as part of those draws, some of the TNT cards, and hopefully get a lot of value, get rid of some valuable minions in your opponent's hand or deck, and even on board. By the way, the TNTs can also blow up locations, so that's could be useful to know, especially against a Warlock or something like that. You might want to, before playing, let's say he's played a Sargeras, and you want to try doing the shtick of Gaslight Gatekeeper, but you want to make sure it hits the location. So just do, I don't know, sanitize or brawl first, and then do your big card draw, and hopefully you'll get rid of his very valuable location, which is basically a win condition in itself for Warlock. Okay, so that's the general idea of that. That's Brann again with the Boomboss Tho'grun, and that's why I chose Gaslight Gatekeeper. Still undecided about this, but it seems like a good idea, but it's 2 mana more expensive than Finley, and it can draw the same cards again, but at least with Finley the problem is if you swap with the bottom 9 cards of your deck and you do have one of the TNTs there, the TNTs actually cost 6 mana, so you won't be able to play them unless you want to play it like a 6 mana patchwork, right? But you, instead of having the 4-6 minion on board afterwards, you just played a spell. So you could do that, but I don't know. I just think there's few advantages. That's why I'm going Gaslight Gatekeeper, and also the stats are much better. 1 mana 1/3s or 3 mana 3/4. 3 mana 3/4 is much stronger for the mana cost. Okay, right. So let's have a look through the deck. So let's go through the other win conditions. So what if you don't get your Deep Miner Brann, or you do and you want to look at the other win conditions? So again, Boomboss can work just by itself even without the Brann. It's just a bit harder to play. It's more of a tempo sacrifice. If you're only going to get 3 TNT'S into the deck, and let's say you've got 15 cards left in the deck still, it's a bit risky to play it because you're not going to get the payoff for quite a few turns probably. That's still playable. Then you got Odyn. Now Odyn doesn't benefit from the Deep Miner Brann double battlecries directly. For the rest of the game, after your hero gains armor, they gain that much attack for that turn. Now this battlecry doesn't double for some reason. Well, I think they designed it like that because they knew they were going to introduce this Deep Miner Brann card. I'm not sure what happens if you play Odyn twice, whether you get the double effect. I'm not sure, because that used to happen. If you manage to bounce it back to your hand and replay it, I'm not sure if that counts as a separate. Or it's just like once you've played it once, it's like that for the rest of the game. Just armor equals attack. Okay, then you've got, of course, since this is a Reno deck, you've got cards like Reno, and you've also got Marut Stonebinder, which if your deck has no duplicates, discover an elemental to summon and add the others to your hand. And of course, you summon 2 elementals if you played Brann, and you end up with 4 in your hand. So you've got to be careful. It's very hard to play this after Brann on turn 7, because usually your hand will be on the full side, unless you've been against a very aggressive deck and just been playing removal the whole time. But this is a massive amount of stats and value. Yeah, so that's one thing to bait out your opponent's Reno, for example. And then you can play your Excavate card, your Excavate reward, the Azurite cat or something. I can't remember what it's called. Tiger. We can find that here actually. Where is it? I missed it. Azurite Ox, right. Wow. Oh, it lists the whole lot here. Wow. Okay, so Azurite Ox, discover 2 8-cost minions, summon them, and of course with Brann you summon 4. So you can see this card by itself can really, like, against a deck which doesn't have the tempo, the removal, which most decks do nowadays, but you know, Token Druid doesn't, for example. This can just be game winning. It puts too many stats on for them to be able to handle. So look at Ignis again. Bear in mind this can give you 2 weapons now. So what I like to do is take a 5 mana and a 10 mana weapon, or possibly even a 1 mana and a 10 mana weapon. 10 mana is just for the brute force damage. But 1 mana weapon, if we've played Odyn, I've won games like this. I've actually played Ignis the previous turn to get the 2 mana Wind Fury weapon, and it actually got me armor as well, 2 armor. And then I play the weapon and this next turn, so you end up having 2 attack. Well, you basically have 10 damage to face because of the battle cry. This is actually one of the reasons I put this in the deck, because of the double battle cry. Is absolutely so powerful for it, especially if you played Odyn. So you put 10 damage to the face just with the battle cry, plus you get 16 armor, and that means you plus the damage of the weapon, which is 2. That's 18 attack each turn, so it's 36 damage. And if you've got the secondary enchantment, which gives you 2 armor every time you attack, then it actually gives you extra 2 for the second swing. So it's basically 38 damage just with for the 9 mana there. So that's a burst out of the blue. You can severely shock your opponents by very fast OTK there. Let's have a look what else. Reno, I tend to push off using my Reno until I really need it. Otherwise it's just an 8 mana getting you hero power and stop your opponent playing too many more than one having more than one space on your board. So really leave it to a situation where you actually really need to remove his board, and that would be for things like if they got very valuable death rattles. So for example, if for some reason I have seen people play this, some people are playing Rivendell Wall Rider, or they've already played it and they decide to just tempo out one of the others. Playing Reno removes it for the board, so they haven't died. So if you had all 4 horsemen die this game, destroy the enemy hero, but not all 4 horsemen died because one of them got just removed from the game. Very similar, if people remember that far back, to the Reno hero power, or what do you call it? Hero card, which cost 10 mana, which removed all minions from the board. Right, it did exactly the same thing, and it gave you a new hero power there as well. Arguably a worse one as well. So this Reno is much stronger than the 10 mana one, but of course you've got to be playing a deck without any duplicates. Okay, so now let's split this up into 2 parts, the rest of the analysis. Well, 3 parts. We'll look at the big win conditions first. So we've already explained Odyn, Boomboss. This is for massive stats on board. Right, and of course with the Brann, you double the battlecries of Burrowbuster and of Cobalt Miners, so it's much easier to get your Azerite Ox, which it could be a win condition itself, summoning 4 discovered 8 cost minions. Title Revenant we've explained. Yeah, so those are all the win conditions of the deck basically. Now, and of course you've got Ignis as well, which you can just win with the weapon by itself, leaving any other shenanigans out. Okay, now, but how do you get there? This is a control deck, so you need to be able to survive. So we've got things like Slam, removal and card draw, Bash, Armor and removal, just AoE removal there with this Blast Charge. Oh, by the way, of course, ASTALOR, before I finish off the win conditions, ASTALOR does, yeah, it gives you 2 of the 5 mana ASTALORs, and each of the 5 mana ASTALORs gives you 2 of the 8 mana ASTALORs, which means you can get a total of 4 of the massive ASTALORs. It's quite hard to manage your hand if you're trying to do that all in one go, so you can't just like set up all 8, have a hand full of 4 ASTALORs to start off with, the big ones, because you generally won't have enough room in your hand for that. If by some fluke you do, then go for it. But otherwise, probably just play this one once, then go for your, then just play, you could play one of these to give you 2 of these, then play both of them probably, and then play the other one, and then play the other 2. Or if you just want to do it for the mana, because you got lethal or something, or close to lethal, you can set up a lethal for next turn if you do 10 damage here. So you play 2 ASTALORs, fill up your hand, lose one of the ASTALORs even, so you might only have a room for 2 ASTALORs in your hand. You're going to burn them, doesn't matter, because each one of these does 14 damage if it's not Mana Thirst, but if it's Mana Thirst, they do 28 damage. So you're talking about 56 damage with 2 ASTALOR Flamebringers. And if you get all 4, that's 112. That's enough to beat any deck in the game easily. I don't think any deck can survive 4 turns, 112 damage, even if they have bulky minions. It's very unlikely. It's very hard to keep generating massive boards like that. Maybe this board can resist it, this deck, with its massive minion generation, but besides that, it's almost a guaranteed win. Of course, I've had people trying to do that against me, but I just kill them very quickly with my big armor turns with the Odyn, which I think I've done recently, maybe in this video, I can't remember. Okay, so those are your win conditions. Right, now let's move on to the control tools, which is very, very important, because you can't do all this fun stuff without actually getting there. So you've got things like Slam, Bash, Blade Storm, Blast Charge, of course, it's an Excavate as well. You've got Bellowing Flames, and you've even got Aftershocks at the moment, which actually costs 2 mana if you play the spell, which earlier on you'll be playing more spells than you will minions. You've even got the weapon, which can help control the board a bit and give you that little bit of armor just to mitigate the damage which you're using the weapon. You know, it does 9 damage basically and gives you 9 armor, but you have to sacrifice your health to do it. So it's good for its stats. And of course then you've got Sanitize, and you've got Trial by Fire, right? And on top of that, you've even got an Old-Fashioned Brawl, and you've got Badlands Brawler, where you can play it as a regular brawl. It can still work, but obviously it's more ideal if you've already played a couple of the Excavate cards, so you can guarantee you win it. So as you saw in the game we had just now, try bursting any Death Rattle minions which will summon other minions or reborn minions before playing Badlands Brawl or regular Brawl, so when the brawl's over you won't be regenerating any other minions for them, and it'll be much cleaner like that. For high level players I don't need to tell you that, but you know, I'm trying to cater for all levels of players here. Okay, right, so you can see I've put a very strong focus on removal. I'm not sure if anyone else runs the Old-Fashioned Brawl. I haven't seen any of the other decks which run this yet. Maybe I'm wrong. Trial by Fire, very powerful at removal. Steam Guardian, can draw it as well. So we've got quite a lot of early card draw as well. We've got Heavy Plate with a tradable, Steam Guardian, and we've got, where's the other card draw? Right, then we've got this new minion, which is Needle Rock Totem, which at the end of your turn gain 2 armor and draw a card, which is a fantastic card for Warrior. It's absolutely perfect. Yeah, and people might be thinking, wow, it's got 0 mana, they can just leave it there. They're not going to want to leave it there. Every turn you're going to get 2 armor for free and draw 2 cards. That's sort of like a taunt, and if you manage to play it on turn 2, or even coin out turn 1 if you feel confident, let's say you're not playing a rogue who's almost definitely going to have a removal that quickly. Actually, yeah, but turn 2 they'll have a removal for sure. Yeah, you might even want to coin it out, give yourself a chance to get 2 procs of it. And of course, if you play other minions, people might prioritize the other minions to remove, and they'll leave the Needle Rock Totem on for longer. Yeah, and the drawing cards are very important for this deck. Even though it's a control deck, you still want to have lots of, well, control decks generally want to have a lot of options, but you want to try getting through to your Brann as quickly as you can, because there are a lot of hazards for Brann costing 6 mana. You can get Theotard, for example. You can get it copied by a priest, so the priest can actually get one as well, and he can copy the one in your deck, so you don't have access to yours yet, but he has access to his, and then he could even play the annoying card which steals your version of the card if he plays the copied version, so you end up with no Brann at all. Besides Theatar, You can have Patchwork, can get rid of it as well. A TNT can get rid of it. So there's lots of ways that they can mess around with your hand and deck in the current meta. So yeah, so in slow matchups, you're always going to try mulliganing specifically for this card, because it basically makes all your other cards literally twice as powerful. So it's a no-brainer. Okay, so right, so we've got Bladestorm and we've got this Aftershocks card. They can both be very useful against the Treant Druid. So we'll speak about mulligans in a minute. Let's just finish off looking at all the cards. We've basically gone through all the cards. Yeah, anything we missed out? Yeah, Asvedon, Grand Shield. Again, not essential, but if you get a double battle cry of that, it can be very, very good. You saw we could have theoretically got 20 health and drawn 2 cards against the Death Knight, where he just played Blood. Was it Vampiric Blood, which draws a card and gives you 10 health. So we could have done double that theoretically. In terms of card draw, we've got Stone Skin Armor, Shield Block, Needlerock Totem. We've got Slam, Heavy Plate, Gaslight Gatekeeper, and Steam Guardian. So for a 30 card deck, that's more than enough card draw, you would imagine. So you should be able to draw through your deck quickly and get to Brann, or at least the Gaslight Gatekeeper, to give you a second bite at the cherry. We've only got the 2 Forge cards for the Ignis, Sanitize and Bellowing Flames, but usually you want to have them early on anyway, against sort of mid-range or tempo or even aggro decks, just for the removal. Right. So our early game is going to depend on what sort of deck we're playing against. If we're playing an aggro deck, we're going to be focusing on removal and a bit of card draw at the same time. Against slower decks, we're going to be focusing heavily on card draw and trying to get to the Brann. With the exception of specifically the OTK Sludge Warlock deck, yeah, then your game plan drastically changes to just stacking armor and just hoping he's not going to be able to pull off the whole combo. That's basically what it comes down to. So, yeah, unfortunately, it's a very polarizing deck. But hopefully when people see they're just not being consistent with it, it'll die out, that deck, and people will just give up on it. Then we don't have to worry about those very, very hard decks to deal with. I mean, that deck can beat anything except Warrior because of just its sheer damage it can just do in one go. Right, right, so let's go for mulligans now. So mulligans. Against aggro, take things like Slam, Bash, Bladestorm, Needlerock Totem. It's pretty good because it slows them down. They won't be going face for one turn. And also you're getting the armor and card draw, which it can be very important. Definitely for aggro, look for Bellowing Flames. It's one of the best removals in the game, early game. Don't if you're playing something like Treant Druid, just try putting minions, any minions on board. Even if you've only got an option of Ignis or nothing, just play the Ignis as a 4-mana 2/4 just to get anything on board, just to compete with the board. And hopefully you'll get something like a Brawl for turn 5 or a Sanitize. So yeah, so for aggro decks, just mulligan very low, look for your removal cards. Right, now for slower decks, generally just look, I throw the whole hand away. If you don't think you're going to be beaten in 6 turns or in serious danger, they just full mulligan away your hand just for Brann. If you have some card draw, then keep the card draw because that cycles itself. So for example, if you get rid of 3 cards, you've got 3 chances to hit Brann, and you're left with, let's say, 27 cards in your deck, where Brighton might still be. If you keep one of these, you've got 2 chances to get Brann, but you're guaranteed to draw an extra card, thinning down your deck a bit more. So all in all, if you've got card draw, I would keep it against a slower deck. Stone Skin Armourer against slow decks is a must keep, because that turn 4, potentially drawing 3 cards with Shield Block and Armourer, or just Hero Powering and Stone Skin Armourer, it can be very, very useful. Would I keep Gaslight Gatekeeper against a slow deck? Probably not, because it's not really drawing cards. You want to get your hand full first before using Gaslight Gatekeeper, which by turn 3 you might have anyway against a slow deck. So I'll leave it to your judgment whether you want to keep that in your mulligan against a slow deck. Anything else? Right, so let's think of specific matchups now. So the decks which you really have to watch out for, we explained how to mulligan against Warlock. Just go pure armor and card draw to get armor. Against Warrior, just go full out for the Brann, because you don't expect anything but a very slow deck as well on the other side there. The one against Brann often wins first. Against Shaman, maybe do sort of like an average mulligan. If you've got like 1 piece of removal, just keep it. If you've got 2 pieces of removal, just take the one which you think is going to be more efficient. You just have to know what the meta is at the moment. If you're worried about big minions, then take something like a Bash. If you're worried about the Piranhas, then take a Bladestorm, or take the new card. I'm not sure what it's called even. Aftershocks, right? Again, if it's Highlander, then you don't have to worry at all, because it's, it just is what it is. You could also, if you're seeing a lot of the OTK Nature Shaman decks, look for card draw and armor, just like against the Warlock OTK deck. Right. Okay. Against Rogue, should be pretty straightforward. Just make sure you've got a bit of removal and card draw, and then try going for Brann with the 3rd slot. Or maybe you could go all out with the Brann. I think it's generally quite slow. The problem is against Rogue, you might be facing a Mech Rogue. If you don't have that removal early, you're in big, big trouble. So again, it depends. If the Mech Rogue is in the meta, then mulligan hard for removal. If it's the Quest Rogue, then you could take your time. You can actually be more aggressive in looking for that Brann. Again, so you have to know what the meta is to make that decision. Priest, I think generally Priest is slower at the moment. You could find an Automaton Priest. Not much you can do, because your removal doesn't really deal with the big automatons. So maybe just mulligan for a Brawl or something like that. And the Brann, if you get Brann, you almost always keep it, except against the very aggressive matchups like Treant Druid, you would never keep Brann, and the Warlock, you'd never keep Brann either. Against Paladin, you need to be quick off the mark, just in case of the aggro Paladin, because especially with the new 3-mana card, they can do ridiculous amounts of damage very quickly. I might even try making my own Excavate Paladin deck. It's very, very powerful. Here's the new card. Give a minion Wind Fury and Divine Shield and Excavate Treasure. You get the Azurite Murloc, transforming all your minions. Oh, that's a Shaman version. Give all minions in your hand the deck and battlefield 3/3. So it's a very, very buff-centric sort of deck, which people are playing now. So be very careful. Don't leave even a 3-attack minion on board if you don't have taunts up or armor, because that can turn very quickly into 13 with Wind Fury, so that's 26 damage out of nowhere. So be very, very careful knowing about this deck, this card here. Okay, right, so yeah, so therefore you go for hard removal and early removal against Paladin. Against Mage, you can take your time, go for the Brann. Get a bit of card draw and armor, and don't let them chip down your health too quickly. Like, sacrifice a bash if you think there's going to be a minion which is just going to be annoying you with 2 attack for the next 5 turns. That's 10 damage. You could have prevented it with 1 mana bash, even if you don't draw any cards with it. Hunter. Yeah, not much to say about Hunter. He's not a good class at the moment. What have you got with Hunter? Maybe against the 4/1s, take a Blade Storm, something like that, and one other piece of removal. Otherwise, you should be fine. Because remember, naturally, you're going to be drawing a mixture of early and late game cards after your mulligan. So just rely on what you're going to be drawing. Just keep maybe 1 or 2 pieces of removal, and the third one look for Brann or look for a Brawl or something, because they tend to have wider boards. Hunter. Druid, it could be Dragon, could be Highlander, could be Big Druid, but always mulligan for Treant Druid, because that is the real danger. That Treant Druid is absolutely deadly. It's the fastest deck in the game. Maybe the new Paladin one's faster now. But yeah, if you can't control the board, you need to keep any removal you get in your opening hand and just like pray that you get other removal along the way, or massive armor or something like that. Yeah, so for that, I'd even think of keeping a Brawl for turn 5, because they usually don't kill you by turn 5, but they usually will set up to kill you by turn 5. So it'd be a good time to bring a Brawl down. Even then, Soul of the Forest makes things much more complicated, and that's why we keep the Aftershock card as well, which can actually do damage 3 times, so you can kill off their 2/2s, and even give a bit of damage to the Soul of the Forest 2/2s, which get generated after you've killed off the first minion. Then it leaves the 2/2 behind. So you'll do 1 damage on that, and then hopefully your Blade Storm can finish off the job. So yeah, against Treant Druids, it's going to be very tricky with this deck. But it is possible, and that's how you do it. Demon Hunter, I wouldn't worry about anything at the moment. Just get a bit of armor, a bit of removal, a bit of card draw, just to be on the safe side in case people are still playing the OTK deck with Blind Eye Sharpshooter. And finally, Death Knight. I don't think Death Knight's an aggro threat at all anymore. People aren't playing Unholy by itself, or I have seen people play Frost actually, but that's just one game I saw people playing Frost, but even then it wasn't really that good. Yeah, so mulligan, assuming you're going to be playing either Blood Death Knight or Rainbow Death Knight, or sort of like the Excavate Plague Death Knight. And all those cases, you can just go for the Brann and hope for the best. And I think you have to go for the Brann, because if they get Patchwork on turn 7 and you haven't played your Brann on turn 6 yet, now you're constantly going to be in danger of losing that Brann. Okay, so that is Reno Warrior. Okay, I hope you enjoy playing it. Again, things which I was thinking of taking out, putting in. You can experiment with this yourself. Audio amplifier, you can make a massive difference. That extra mana plus the extra hand space can make a huge difference. The question is what you're going to take out. Other things to put in. You could put in your... Where is he? He should be here. Photographer Fizzle can give you even more value if you feel you're against long attrition. There's not that much attrition in the game at the moment. Warrior against warrior, it doesn't matter. You saw the game I lost against the other warrior. I had a massive amount of armor, but it doesn't matter. Whoever gets to attack first is going to be the one who generally wins. It's not going to drag on those sort of games. And against a priest, you should have the value. So I can't see how Photographer Fizzle is going to be an advantage at the moment. But if you're going to end up with some long grindy games, then maybe Fizzle's the way to go. Another thing you could put in is an ETC with some nice goodies. What goodies would I put in the ETC? Oh, of course, yeah. POSIX, definitely an option to put in. This can really disrupt some decks. It can be another way of dealing with the OTK Warlock deck that can really mess them up. Even though the bots are 3 mana, so you could just take them out of hand once he's played his turn 6 Thaddeus. But still, it could cause him to draw to burn cards and to waste card draws because he just wants to get rid of these cards out of his hand. Because they try to draw a lot of cards early to hit the combo pieces. Right, what would I put in the ETC? So the ETC, I'd probably put... would I put a steam cleaner in? It's not jewels. Would I put a steam cleaner in? You've seen a lot of Boomboss Warrior and it suddenly becomes good, or Plague Death Knight becomes good, then maybe put the steam cleaner in. Otherwise, maybe not so much. Against a slower sludge warlock, you can put steam cleaner in after you've got a big board. Then steam cleaner, get rid of the win condition, and it just hits your minions instead of your face. A theatre, I think, is probably a very good choice to put in. Theatre the Mad-Duke, you can actually steal their win condition. That can work very well against Warlock. You can steal their Thaddeus, or against another, let's say your turn 5, you can coin this out and try stealing the Brann from the other player. You can even put a second minion in your ETC. Put a second Tidal Revenant maybe, or I don't know, a second whatever one of these cards you feel is very good. The other one is weapon removal. You could put a Viper in, so Theatre Viper. I can't really think what we'd put in. Maybe a Mass Silence. You don't really need a Mass Silence at the moment. Maybe put a second Brawl in. That might be the way to go, or a second Badlands Brawler. Just in case you're going to have some of these, like a Druid type, big Druid decks where they constantly produce very big boards. Those sort of cards you can put in. What would you take out though? I mean, Flint's a good card you could take out though. I don't think you can take out Needlerock Totem. It's just so strong at the moment. It does everything a warrior would want to do early game. If it was a 1/1, it might be better. Maybe easier to kill then though. This definitely just a bonus card. You can get rid of that, especially if you don't even have it. You just put something else in one of the other ones, and put a POSIX in instead of this. Gaslight Gatekeeper, again, there's pros and cons whether you put this in or Finley in. You definitely want one of the 2 cards just to help you find the Brann though, because this basically draws you 9 cards. Some of the cards could be the ones you've already got in hand, but it's very good. And Finley gives you 9 completely new cards if you've got a full hand. So Finley's definitely got an advantage in terms of getting the Brann. Aftershocks, so far I haven't used it in a positive way. It's just been in my hand and just cluttering up my hand and just played on an empty board or something like that. So the jury's out for this one still. So be prepared to swap that out. Otherwise, right, Stonebinder as well, even though it's a very powerful card, I'm still not 100% convinced of it, so I wouldn't craft it. It's not a must-have card for this. Oh, but you got it in the mini set anyway, so you may as well put it in. But if you feel that some of the other cards I mentioned are even more powerful, then put them in instead. Yeah, all these cards. I mean, the truth is you can get away with it without the Tho'grun or the Odyn. You can actually play this deck without either of these cards, but they're just so powerful. They're win conditions in themselves. I'm not sure why you'd miss them out. Unless you're putting even more protection in for your early game and just relying on your Brann and your Reno to generate value with the Marut and the Excavate to the Azurite Ox. So those are the sort of cards you can take in and put in and take out. Yeah, okay. Hope you enjoy this deck. Okay, have a look at the other decks I'm working on at the moment. Yeah, and good luck with your games. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.